Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the Peacock documentary series, Joe Montana, Cool Under Pressure. And obviously this focuses on legendary NFL quarterback, four-time Super Bowl champion, Joe Montana. And you see him in this pretty standard narrative that you see in these biopic documentaries of like, from a child, through his childhood, with his parents, all the way up through his career and him sitting in the chair, you as the audience getting to listen to him talk about his life, which I appreciated that he was actually connected to this and you could get that perspective as well. You know, and it has some bit of edges and there's like some tension throughout this documentary in terms of like you have the Joe Montana camp, you have the Steve Young camp, and how things went, but they build a lot of excitement with the highlights of these old football games. I was sitting there like on the edge of my seat watching them and just like this happened like decades ago, but it's so exciting. It's so well done in terms of the filmmaking and trying to build that suspense and tension out of something that somebody could have watched like 40 years ago. But you have though like plenty of interviews with all kinds of different people to be able to give perspectives, whether it's his wife or kids or his teammates, his former coaches, his former rivals, Huey Lewis and the News, because like they were such good connections in terms of like the San Francisco Bay Area coming out and singing the national anthem before a bunch of games. And probably the most intriguing part of this is the historical quarterback battle that lasted like 6 years of them trying to figure out who was closing when, what they're going to be doing, and still not so quite filled out. But you have this idea of like this QB battle between Joe Montana and Steve Young, which was a really exciting and interesting story. And at what point does the 49ers just give up on Joe Montana and going with Steve Young instead? And there's a lot of smack talking between like the old rivals and stuff like that. That's pretty entertaining. And like you see like Joe Montana's disdain for the Giants, which I take offense to that as a Giants fan. But you see his bigger cultural impact too with him like on SNL and commercials and hang out with Huey Lewis in the News. It's just a great series to watch as a sports fan and get a lot out of it. I was pretty glued to it. I was really interested in the story. He's such a big name in football and I didn't really know much about him, and it's so interesting seeing him as like the smaller, scrappier quarterback and the big comeback kid, because you're down 3 touchdowns, who you can ask? Joe Montana. And just the perspectives that you get from this series are really entertaining and interesting and informative. And when it really comes down to it, this is a really fine documentary series. But those are my thoughts on Joe Montana, Cool Under Pressure. Let me know what you think and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.